thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Hey y'all, so today, as you can see by the title, I am making a closure wig. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down the cap on the client's head size and kind of measure it out to be her head size, which is a 21 inch. So I just use my method to kind of fold the cap over, and then now I am applying the closure onto the cap so that we can sew that down and get it ready to be sewed down. And what you want to do is pin it down so that it can assist you with not moving while you sew. So that's exactly what I did here. And I'm going to get the hair out the way and just clip that. Then I'm just going to use some thread to sew it down. You can sew it down any kind of way because you're going to go over it with the sewing machine anyway. So just keep watching to see. So now that it's sewed down, I made sure that I tied a double knot so that the thread isn't going anywhere. So now I'm using the Snatch Collection hair, my hair company, to make this wig for one of my clients. And I am using a zigzag stitch. This video is more of a look and learn. However, I will explain most of what I am doing. So just keep watching to see all that I am doing right now. I am just doubling the track so that it can be easier and fuller when I sew it onto the cap. So just keep watching. Now that we have all of our tracks doubled, as you can see, I always start with the thread facing back. If you know how to use a sewing machine, you know that you always have to make sure your thread is facing back. But what I'm doing now is I'm basically aligning the hair tracks with the lining of the lines that I made on my cap and sewing it onto the sewing machine. You do want to start with double sewing the track in the beginning and the end so that you can lock the tracks in there. It creates a knot so that the track isn't going anywhere. So I'm pretty much going to do that throughout the whole entire wig, and that's pretty much it when it comes to sewing it on the sewing machine. Keep watching and looking. And by the way, do not come for my nails. I know they look a hot mess, but quarantine is getting the best of us, okay? I'm blaming everything on quarantine. Don't tell nobody. So this is pretty much what the wig is looking like right now on the cap. And I'm pretty much going to continue on with the same steps. When you are sewing the tracks on the cap, make sure that your cap is flat and not bunched up, because that will mess up the sizing on your client's or yourself's head. So make sure that the cap is straight and that you're not stretching the cap, but you're just flattening the cap. So continue watching, y'all. So we are on the final track. This is the track that we're going to sew on with the closure. So the zigzag method stitches the track and the closure together. So that last track that is right under the closure, you want to make sure that you sew it together with the closure so that it can have a flawless look, no gaps, and that when it's time to style it, you have no gaps that will show in the back of the wig, and that is just perfectly flawlessly installed with all the hair textures, the hair tracks. So that's basically what we're doing here, and that's that. Now we're just sewing on the elastic band right here, because all my wigs come with an elastic band. So that's all I'm doing here, and that part is pretty simple. It's pretty much just using the sewing machine and going over that elastic band. So now it's time to style, honey. So just keep watching to see how I love to style my wigs.